Hello and welcome to a tutorial in CS 4010, the structural dynamics and finite element analysis. In this video, I'm going to guide you how to design a simplified bridge and do some structural analysis with that. So in the first step, please click on static structural to create a model for static structural. You certainly can rename it to something you like bridge. Yep. Now, it's the first tab. In the second tab, you can see the engineering data. By default, it's already done, and you don't need to be aware of that so much unless you want to change your material properties. So in case you want to change your material property, please double click on that to open the engineering data. And then you can see that by default, your engineering data is structural still. And you can see plenty of properties down here. And if you want to change anything, just double click on that and edit the number to what you want. In case you want to load a new material from library, please go to engineering data source and then try to open the book you want. For example, if you want the nonlinear concrete, you can go to general nonlinear material, and then you can see that you have concrete nonlinear in here. And please add to your library by clicking on this plus. Now you see the book over here, that means it has been added. You can just go back to your library and then click on concrete nonlinear, and you can edit the property to what you want and then save it. In the third tab, you need to create the geometry. As you can see, Ansys has three packages to create the geometry. The first one is Design Modeler, which has been here for years, but to me it's not really user-friendly. The second is Space Claim, which is very handy, and New Discovery is the latest. But to me, it has some limit in creative activities. Now, for the import geometry, you can create your geometry from somewhere else, like in Fusion 360 or in SolidWorks, and then import here. For now, we just use the default one by double click on that. So here is the interface of Ansys Discovery, and you can see that there is a new tab about simulation. However, we mostly focus on the design. I need to draw a bridge of 100 meters long. So first of all, I need to choose a plane to draw on, and then after that I will sketch my span. So I click on new plane and try to move my mouse over, so I have the grid will be parallel to the X and Z axis. I'm trying to draw one side of my bridge first, and then I will copy to another side, and then I draw the connection between them. So I choose ZX plane. Yep. You can just click on the orientation keep to move it to the orthogonal view. Now in here, I need the first one, which is a span of 10 meters, and I will create 10 spans. Okay. You can always change the unit by go to the setting and then change the unit display precision. By default, it's always millimeters, but in here, I will change it to meter by default. Now I need 10 span of them, so I use linear pattern. Click on this one, and then set 10 span. Each span will be about 10 meters away. Yep. And then I select the span and I select the directions. So you can see now I have copied, and I will tick to confirm. So this is my first step. Okay, you can see that they all be in here in the curve. Yep. Now in the next step, I'm going to draw an arch on the top of this. So I'm going to use the 3-point arc. Now in Ansys, please ensure that the circle, the green circle, always appear next to your mouse cursor. Otherwise, you're not selecting the end of the element. You may selecting somewhere near it. So please always ensure that you have the small circle next to your mouse pointer. Alright, 1 point, and go to the end point, and then I enter the radius, which for example can be 120 meter. Yep, so this is my second part. Now I can draw the vertical line. If you don't choose a green circle, it's going to be like that. So I redo this one. Yep. So I think I'm good with that. The problem is when I move to 3D and copy to other side, it will convert my beams into area like that. And I don't want it because I want it to be beam. So what I need to do is I'm going to move them to the new component. So therefore they will know that they belong to different things. So I move to a new component and I name it something like horizontal beam and rectangular cross section 1, for example, like that. Yep. Now when I move to 3D, you can see that they still stay at lines and they don't convert my beams into areas. Alright, so now I go back to the 3D view, try to copy it. So to copy this one, I click on move and then select all of them, and then I hold Ctrl to copy and click on the blue arrow to move it away. And my bridge, let's say about 15 or maybe just 10 meter for 2 lanes, maybe 4 lanes already, 10 meter away from each other. Okay, so I have something like that. Now I can draw the connections between my 2 sides of my bridge, and I can just draw it in 3D or I can create a new sketch. To ease my work, I just draw it in 3D. So from one side to another side, and then line again, like that. Yep. And then after that, I move back to 3D, and then I create a linear pattern from this. So I select the object and I select the directions. Yep, you can see that you miss one subject over here. So I select this one as well. Yep, and then I confirm it. Now I miss this element, so I just draw it at last. Okay, done. So this is the bottom connections. Some of you can do cross one, and this is fine, like this one. Yeah, and I recommend you to make the line from here to the middle point and from middle point to here. So in this way, you always ensure that you share the topology at the end of your beam. For now, it is fine for me. I just move back to 3D and now I try to draw the connection on the top. Alright. To ensure that they don't block any chuck, I need to check the length of this one. So it is about 4 meters. I want it to be a bit taller because my chuck can be taller than 4 meters. So therefore I may start from this pen. Yep. And I enable the 3D drawing. I go from one end. Please ensure that it has the circle. So you may want to check the coincidence of the lines later. Okay, I think I'm fine with this. Now in the next step, I need to draw the concrete panel. So what I want to do is, I often do a rectangular one. So I select my sketch. Yep. And then I draw a rectangle on that. Okay, and done. Yep. Well, I don't recommend you to use a linear pattern to copy your surface, because when you do that, they will be in different components, and then you can't share the topologies unless you collapse all of them. So therefore, in this way, I just copy them very quickly. Yep, I select all of them, and then hold Control, and then move it on together. In case you afraid of you overlap something, you can just try to delete them, and if you can see through, that means there was nothing in there. Okay, that's good. So I have everything here. In the next step, I need to assign the cross-section area to my beams. But to do that, I need to convert my line to the, I need to move my lines to the new component first. I think I overdo it. Yep, that is. Only the line on the top. I can move it to a new component. I name it H horizontal beam, rectangular maybe, and maybe how many I have already? 2, and will be the third one. Okay, now for this line to this line, I move it to new component as well, and I name it horizontal beam rectangular 3. Okay, done. Now I need to assign the cross-section area, so please click on Prepare tab and go to Assign. Now you need to set the beam. So for first one, all of them must be selected. Alright, that's the main structure. Alright, so I can choose a very big one. In Ansys Discovery, you can use your own. However, it doesn't work well in this situation, so I will choose something from standard. Yep, after filter them, I can go back to find a big one for me. Let's say half meter. I can go to 600 millimeters. Okay, I'm fine with this one. Let's choose this. Alright, so now you can see that the all has been assigned, and if you want to see it, you go to display and you display 3D profile. When you can zoom in, you can see that your beam is in these directions, and you may not like it. So to avoid that, just click on the beam and then click on orient. Then you can rotate it if you don't like the directions. Click on the right one to rotate it, like that. Yeah, if you don't like the directions. It's very important for I-beam and some other like rectangular beams. Alright, so in the next step, I try to convert the arch. Yep, I select them and I try to orient them. Now arch is also a very big one because it's going to carry the main load. So therefore I'm going to take 600 as well. Where was my, I think I was this one. Okay, and I convert them. So after you have done everything, you can just maybe hide and see if you have all of the components you need. Yep, I think I'm fine now. Now, the last step before I move to modeling is I need to share my topology. So in the Prepare tab, I click on Share Topology. And I set coincidence quite slack, maybe 0.1, in case I make any mistake. And share. So now you can see that the arch doesn't share anything, so that it's in red. This line is shared between the beams and the concrete planes, so therefore it's blue, right? And this one, it has the beam and two concrete planes, so it is purple. And this one is sharing. I think it's fine for me. In case I have anything else, I can come back to do that. So I just save it now and then close it. Now I can just close it. Now in the next step, I move to model by double click on that. Ansys takes a quite good of time to load the model, so please be patient. And please do not open geometry and model at the same time. They can cause a lot of drama later. If you click somewhere over here and your mouse turn to circle, that means it's loading. Please be patient and wait. Alright, so this is the interface of model when you already finish the loading. You can simply rotate it to the right position for you. Maybe this side. Now you can see that in the first tab geometry, they have a question mark over here. That means they need information. So we click on the surface and then we assign the thickness. Will be 0.2 for example. And the material is wrong. We need to make it a non-linear concrete. Okay, so when you see the green tick over here, that means it is ready. In the next part, you may want to do the meshing, and it will be done automatically by Ansys. So we can go directly to the static structural. We need to assign some fixed support. Alright, so therefore we need to go to Environment tab and then we add the fixed support. And please choose the vertex to snap to the angle, the corner. Press Ctrl for multi-selections. I add the support every 20 meters. Something like that, and apply. Alright, so now you can see the fixed support over here. I need to simulate it with gravity, so I add standard Earth gravity. Please ensure that the arrow point to the right directions. And after that, I add the pressure on the top. Right. Ensure that you drag it over all of the required surface. And then apply. The weight is going up, so therefore I need to add this one. The magnitude will be minus maybe 25 kPa. Yep, so ensure that it's on the right way. Now in the next step, I need to tell Ansys what I want to see. So therefore I need to insert the solutions. For the deformation, I need the total deformations. And then I need the equivalent stress. I may need the maximum principle as well, and I may need the beam axial force, and I need the beam bending moment, for example. I may need more than that. Please put yourself at the position of clients and think what they need to know. Then you insert it into here. And after you've done everything, you can start solving. So here is the result of my total deformations. Please don't be so scared of these deformations because it has been exaggerated to see if there is any problem with connections, or if the deformation is way too small, like the true scale, you can't see much of the deformation. So therefore they have been exaggerated on purpose, okay, to see where is the biggest part. And I think I'm fine with that. Now if you look in here at my max deformations, it is about 5 centimeter, and I think 5 centimeter is fine for a 100-meter long bridge. However, if every time when the chuck go over on your bridge and your bridge going up and down by 5 centimeter, it can be a drama. So please ensure that your bridge meet all of the standard requirement. Yeah, you can see the equivalent stress, the axial force of the beam, and the bending moment to find the place where you need to add more support if it required. Thank you very much for your attention in this first tutorial.